Hi everyone, Roderick the Crystal Mystic here, and today I'm going to be talking to you about some of the different shapes of crystals. If you ever go into a crystal store, you may notice that crystals come in all kinds of different shapes. Sometimes they're in spheres, sometimes they're in points or wands, or they're polished, or they're rough, or they're in slabs. And a lot of people will ask me if there's different energetic properties or how the shapes affect the healing properties. And the answer is yes, the shape of the crystal does affect the healing properties, whether it's naturally shaped that way or whether it's been shaped by man. The way that crystals form, for example, quartz crystals, like this quartz crystal, because they grow from the base to the tip, and because of the way they grow, I talk about a little bit in my clear quartz video, because of the way that they grow, the energy will flow. It makes a great amplifier that makes light energy, healing energy flow in a certain direction. And that's formed by nature, and there are certain things like a sphere. Now this has been polished by people into a perfect sphere, and spheres are great because they tend to radiate the energy in all directions. A sphere is good for placing in an area where people are going to be, like conversations, around a table, something like that, when you want that energy to be in all directions. This blue apatite sphere, for example. Blue apatite is a great stone for communication, enhancing communication, clear communication. So in, say, a group setting, or maybe on a desk, a meeting room, somewhere where there's people and you want that energy in all directions, so you can have that communication energy flowing in all directions from that sphere. Whereas points, wands, we use to flow energy, direct energy to, say, balance chakras for healing. And wands can be natural, like this is a citrine that's kind of a natural wand. You can use that as a wand. This one is kind of a fat wand, but it tapers, and that's very important for a wand. It's nice to have something where it comes to a good point, and usually how it tapers a little bit. You see how that kind of goes down right into that point. And I use that for a wand. And there are man-made wands. This is a nice little chakra one I've had for a long time. Made out of copper with some little chakra stones there and a quartz globe on the end. And then just a quartz point at the end. Also great for just chakra balancing and things like that. This is a type of wand that's known as a Vogel cut wand. And the Vogel cut wands were invented by a man named Marcel Vogel. Dr. Marcel Vogel worked for IBM. He did a lot of research and science on crystals, and quartz crystals especially, and how they can be used for healing, and how they focus and amplify light energy. And he designed the Vogel crystal to be one that, it brings the light energy in from the back and focuses it out the front. It's a very powerful wand for crystal healing. Crystal shapes, again, by nature makes clusters. So you get like this amethyst cluster right here. And clusters are really neat because they're made up of a whole bunch of little points. And the way a point focuses the energy in the direction it's flowing, a whole bunch of little points are just radiating the energy out. Another thing that's great to place in a room is a cluster, a quartz cluster, amethyst, a citrine cluster. Place a citrine cluster in some place like your shop, your workplace, where you want to bring wealth and abundance, because it's the merchant stone, it's the wealth and abundance stone. Amethyst, great for calming, soothing. It helps to calm children. Place it like a cluster like that in a room where there's children. Something like great for sleep or dreams. So place a cluster in a bedroom or next to a bed, and it'll radiate that healing energy out in all directions. Another type of point, we have crystal points. You'll often see I have an amethyst one here. I have a rose quartz one here. And these are often used as the centerpieces for crystal grids. They're often polished into generators, which would be 6-sided, equal sides, all meeting at an apex. And these are fantastic for bringing energy down. So you have a crystal grid and bring that energy down from the universe, spreading it out to the stones in your grid, and bringing the energy in to be channeled through your grid and then out through your stones, sending your intention out to the universe for manifestation. Stones, they don't have to be a generator specifically cut in equal sides. I have this little Amazonite that I like, just a neat little centerpiece for a grid. But it's not technically a generator because it's not got even 6 sides, but it is a crystal point, and it does still bring energy focused down. And anytime we have any of the crystal shapes, of course you're combining the properties of the crystal with the shape of what it's been focused into or polished into. Everything is about intention when we work with crystals, when we work with energy. So whoever has put that energy, whoever polished this with the intention of it becoming a sphere, then it has the intention that we're radiating the energy out in all directions. And also when we work with this sphere, so if I place this sphere at my desk with the intention that it radiates communicating energy out in all directions. And that's how the shapes of the crystals will change or affect the properties of the crystals themselves. Another popular form, similar to the crystal points, is a crystal pyramid. I have a nice rose quartz pyramid here. And we know, pyramids have their own special, unique properties, like the famous pyramids of Giza and all the things that they do. And pyramids actually do create an energy vortex. And the energy vortex will also help to amplify intention, to bring that universe energy. Neat things you can do with pyramids, like write an intention, say for manifestation. Rose quartz, really great for love. So now we're combining the properties of the crystal, rose quartz, bringing in love, and the manifestation properties, the amplification properties of the pyramid. So you can write an intention to manifest love, to be more forgiving, to be more compassionate, or anything like that. And you can write down your intention that you want to manifest on, say, a piece of paper. You can place it under the pyramid. And then, perhaps meditate on that, try to, do things to bring that intention, and it'll help to manifest. You can also build a grid around that pyramid. Pyramids make good centerpieces for grids instead of, say, a point. You can use a pyramid, you can use a point for the focus stone. Some people will use a sphere because they want that radiating energy in all directions as part of their grid. Another kind of popular, similar to spheres, crystal eggs you'll find, you may see in crystal stores, and crystal eggs. This is a blue calcite egg. And eggs are linked to fertility, so they often symbolize fertility. You can sometimes find, say, a moonstone egg or something like that, a carnelian egg, good to represent fertility. Carnelian is a great fertility stone, and you bring in the shape of the egg, so that kind of amplifies. You have double the energy. If you're, say, trying to have a baby or something like that, that would be a good kind of thing. If you do energy work, crystal eggs are said to be good for scanning the aura. I myself have never used them for that, but I have heard that crystal eggs, especially like a clear quartz, you can hold in your hand when you're scanning the aura. I normally will just scan with my hands, but some people will hold, say, a crystal and let it amplify while they're scanning. And another very popular kind of crystal shape are the animals and totems. So you see, one of my favorites is my malachite bear. This is a little bear. Some of these may be a little small for my camera, but you've probably seen a lot of different ones. I have a little lizard here, kind of an alligator or a reptile, and then a very teeny tiny bunny rabbit. Oh, you may not be able to see my teeny tiny bunny rabbit, but it's a malachite rabbit. And I just thought it was cute, so I bought it. It was like a couple bucks. But again, bringing in the animals. You can look at different books. There are animal totem books and animal spirit guide books. Some people are experts on the spirit guides and animals and stuff, but you bring in the meaning of the animal with the meaning of the stone when you carve the stone into an animal. So another great example, malachite itself is a good fertility stone. It's called the midwife stone. It's good for pregnancy and childbirth. And of course we know rabbits themselves represent fertility. So another one, if you were trying to be pregnant or have some fertility, having a little malachite bunny rabbit might be something, that could help you with that. And malachite, also another one of the properties, being one of the green stones, malachite is a good healing stone. And so then I have a lizard here. And lizards and reptiles are known for their regeneration, their quality of, their tail breaks off, they grow a new one. So healing, the healing power of the malachite, the green stone, you can combine that with the regenerative properties of the lizard. So this would be a good thing to carry around to work with for healing. Just gives you double the healing, double the properties. Bears, are known for strength and things like that. And this is malachite is a great wealth and abundance stone. So I kind of see this one as a really wonderful stone for, it's kind of a personal talisman of mine for wealth and abundance and money and things like that. So again, bringing in the properties, wealth and abundance of malachite, and the strength and security of the bear. Try to have strong finances. Let's see, another fun crystal shape to talk about is the crystal skulls. The crystal skulls have kind of a following of all their own. There's very famous crystal skulls. I've had the pleasure of getting to sit with the Mitchell Hedges crystal skull. I found that to be a really neat experience. These are the only two crystal skulls I have. I have a fluorite here, my little fluorite skull, and I have a lapis lazuli skull I just held up. And I don't work too much with skulls myself, but people who do, there are some crystal people and mystics and shamans who work a lot with skulls. And the skulls also tend to bring in a channeling kind of aspect. Some people, feel like their skulls talk to them or have them messages, maybe guides communicate through the skulls. Some people name their skulls. They have, like I only have these two, but I know some people have big collections of crystal skulls of all kinds of different crystals. So it's one of those kind of things, to me, that's that personal connection people make with their crystal skulls. It's not so much of a healing shape, but a personal connection, meditation, channeling kind of shape. So I think there are some cool ones. Like I always liked this little fluorite one, just drew me. So I picked him up. He wasn't too much. So another crystal shape that's a really simple one is the crystal slab, which is just a flat crystal that's been cut into a slab. This is a piece of covalite, which is a pretty rare mineral. This is one of my favorite that I have in my collection. And covalite, I think it's a copper sulfide, and it's got some pyrite in it. And it's a really shiny metallic blue mineral. I believe it's found only in Utah or somewhere in the western United States. It's pretty rare. And it's a great mineral. It's got a really nice kind of a self-reflective quality. It's great for shadow work. But the guy that sold me this covalite said he had a big piece and he sliced it up into a bunch of these little slabs that eventually, people would normally cut them into cabochons for jewelry, but being a crystal healer, I like to just work with them. Slabs are nice just to display. But even if you're not using this for healing, it's just really nice. Slabs make good displays, a way to display the mineral. And then often we'll cut them into cabochons, and this is a cabochon of Larimar, which is a stone found in the Dominican Republic. Very, very popular stone. It's got that wonderful blue and white, looks like a swimming pool. Wonderful connection to water and dolphins and mermaids and all that cool water and ocean stuff. But you can see this is a cabochon where it's smooth on top, flat on the bottom, and is made to be turned into a pendant. A lot of times, I have a nice charoite slab here. There's not too much metaphysically that slabs do, other than you can use them to charge other crystals. So you might set a crystal on top of that to bring in the properties, you know, almost like a crystal grid to mix the properties of the crystal. Some crystals who specialize in cleansing, like selenite especially, will cleanse and charge other crystals. So if you had a selenite slab, which they make, you'll see in crystal stores, specific selenite. It's a cleansing crystal. It's the white crystal. A lot of times it's a gypsum. You know, they call it satin spar. They call it selenite in crystal stores. You know, but you'll find it carved into these slabs that are made for just laying your crystals on to cleanse your crystals. And the only other shape that I have here today to talk about are these little cool seer stones you'll find some places. And these are like, this is kind of an amethyst, and they'll take it and actually sandblast it to give it kind of a hazy appearance, and then polish that one part of it, make it like a window. These are great for scrying, which is when you kind of look almost like what they would call a crystal ball gazing or something like that. That's why they call them seer stones, because if you tune in to your guides, to your messages, you can, you know, go into a meditative state. If you get into like an alpha state, an altered state, then you can start to see, you know, people who are good at scrying will see pictures like a movie screen going right across the little flat polished part of that stone. So kind of cool. So those are some of the shapes and uses we have. There's other shapes out there. You can get into sacred geometry and things like that, which is a whole nother topic for another time. But hopefully maybe I taught you something you didn't already know about crystal shapes. I'm Roderick the Crystal Mystic. As always, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.